welcome back to my channel. My name's Georgia. I hope you're well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you my entire new reading room. I am so lucky my partner has very kindly given me a full room in his house dedicated to just my books now that I'm living here, and honestly I love it so much. It's like my little safe space and I just live in here all the time now. I just love being in this room. It also keeps my books safe from the little kitten that I'm sure you saw the other week. Who is absolutely crazy. If you don't know what about, there's a video up here of her the entire video is her just being absolutely mental. So having like a room dedicated to it, I can keep her out of here and no one's in the room and then my books aren't getting damaged. I absolutely love this reading space so much, and I'm so excited to show you everything how it is now. So in this video we'll go through building my new bookshelves, bringing all these ones in and getting them organised where I want them, putting all the books back on the shelves and me getting really stressed trying to make that work, and then finally a full tour of sort of like what it's looking like now that it's all done. So I really hope you enjoy this video. If you do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and as always my social media, my Amazon wishlist, my Goodreads and now my business email will all be in the description bar below. Be sure to go and check those out. I do some like little sneaky little reading vlogs and things over on those, and little book reviews and just little life updates on there, so be sure to go and have a nosy. Let's get into my book room. So this is the bookshelf situation. Just bought another one of those to go here, and then I've just bought a nice little chair to go here. So let's see how this goes. I've just had the really stupid decision to move them all over one shelf. Why did I do it to myself? Who knows? But we're gonna do it anyway. I swapped them all over, so now we can put romance on this side. Let's go. Okay, so before I show you the final overview of my new reading room, there has been a lot of changes since that last clip that you saw, because I've been book shopping a lot and it's been really bad. So there has been quite a few changes since that last clip, but I'll just give you the full overview now. I'll talk you through the books that are on my shelves. I'm not going to get off and show every book, but I'll give you sort of like a little rundown. I haven't read most of them. I did do another count the other day and I've only read 23% of the books I own, hence the very strict reading my physical TBR rule this year. But yeah, let's get into the final sort of overview of my room. So quickly starting in this corner of the room, the two Alex 9 drawers are actually just from IKEA. The bottom ones, it's just I took those three bottom shelves out and made a shelf just to put some bits and bobs on there. This is just full of stuff. The only ones actually book related are these two. We just have all of my pens that are for like annotating and things, and then in the one below I've just got like tabs and stickers. These are more stickers back here and some more like tab bits. So that's everything that's book related in these drawers. The sign is actually something Molly got me for Christmas. I'm not sure where that's from, and then I just have a little stitch. So next, my chair. Now that is actually from IKEA. It's two separate bits. So I just have the footstool and the chair both in black. And then these are all of my bookshelves. For some reason this bit of footage was missing, so I just thought I'd quickly show you these top shelves again. Ignore the change. But on the top shelf I just have all my dark romances. So I've just got my Haunted and Haunted Adeline, as well as this candle from Society of Alchemists in York. Looks like this. It's just a vanilla scented candle, but it's just so cute and I think it looks perfect on this shelf. And I've also just got Satan's Affair up here as well. And then on here is just the rest of my dark romances. So I've just got book 1 in the Gods of Legacy series by Rena Kent. So this is God of Malice. I've just got the Ravenhood series by K.H. Stewart. I'm not entirely sure what this series is called, but it's the like serial killer series by Brimweaver. So it's Blutter and Backward, Lever and Lark, Scythe and Sparrow, and then I've got a couple of Penelope Douglas ones. So I've got Credence, Bully and Until You. These two are part of the same series, but I can't remember what that series is actually called, if I'm honest. I've then just got My Fault and Your Fault by Mercedes Ron. There is one more book in this series, but I don't have that one yet. And then I've just got a few L.J. Shen ones. So I've got Truly Madly Deeply, and then 2 of the My Dark Prince series, I think it's called. So I've got My Dark Romeo and My Dark Desires. Moving down. So this is just sort of like a bit of a mishmash of romance books, to be honest. So I've got first Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. And then I have The First Time Caller by, is it B.K. Borison? It is a really lovely book. Just looks like this. But yeah, it's the Works one, so it's just got the amazing sprayed edge. Their sprayed edges game is getting so good. I'm so impressed by this one. I then have the 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston, The Love Wager by Lynn Painter, The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren, a couple of Ali Hazelwood ones. So I've got The Love Hypothesis and Deep End. And then I have, I don't know what this series is called, but I've got Say You Swear and Promise Me Not by Megan Brandy. I then have the Windy City series by Liz Tom Ford. I haven't read any of these yet. So from sort of here onwards is kind of my sport romance section. But yeah, I've not read any sport romance yet, so I really need to get on those. But yeah, I've got the Windy City series, and then I've got the Boys of Tommen just here. I'm going to move you to the left. So here I've just got my little Emily Henry and Abby Jimenez section. So I've got the Part of Your World series. I absolutely loved this series. And then I've got her new one, Say You'll Remember Me, which I haven't read yet. And then I've just got a couple of Emily Henry ones. So I've got Happy Place and Funny Story. Moving down, I've just got Gillian Anderson's One. I do just pick this up and read one every now and then. I think it's such a cool concept. And then I've just got my Stitch Lego here. He does have a little ice cream, which I just think is adorable. If you don't know, I am obsessed with Lilo and Stitch. I have like a tattoo, and I love Lilo and Stitch. So he gets to sit here. Not the most appropriate book for him to be sat next to, but it's the only place he sort of fits right now. So this is his little spot. And then moving to the right, I've just got some more romancy ones. So this is just my Lauren Asher and Anna Huang shelf, to be honest. It's sort of like a millionaire romance section, I suppose. So to start with, I've got the Lakefront Billionaire series. I have read these. I absolutely love these books. Really looking forward to the 3rd one in this series. I think coming out in May. I've then got the Dreamland Billionaire series. I've not read these ones yet. And the Dirty Air series, which I'm really looking forward to. I love her writing style, so I think like I'll pretty much read anything she brings out at this point. And then this here is just my little TBR jar that I've made. The tub is literally just from like B&M, I think. And then I've just cut up loads of bits of paper and shoved them in there. I will be doing a TBR jar video for May reads, I believe, just to sort of mix it up a little bit. So I'm looking forward to using this because I've not actually got a chance to use it yet. I then have this little giraffe here. If I'm honest with you, I have no idea where I got this from, but it's just got like a little fake plant in it. I've had it forever. I was going to get rid of it, but it's just the perfect little gap for him, so he gets to stay. And then just moving over a little bit, I've got my Twisted Love series and my Kings of Sin series. I have read the first book in this series now, so I'm looking forward to reading some more of these. I really enjoyed that first one, so I will definitely be getting to these soon. So this shelf here is pretty much just all of my cowboy smut. So this is the Silver Pines series by Paisley Hope. I've got book 1 and 2, and again I believe book 3 is coming out in May again. So we've got a few more good releases coming out in May. But I've got the Sprayed Edges one from the work for book 2. I then have the completed Rebel Blue Ranch series by Lila Sage. I have read books 1 to 3, but I haven't read this one as it only came out like last week. So I've not got around to reading that one yet. I then have all of my Elsie Silver books. So Elsie Silver is one of my favourite authors. She's a massive palette cleanser author for me. So I have the Ruby Creek or the Gold Rush Ranch series. I then have the Chestnut Springs. I have read all of these ones. I think I'm going to read these ones next. And then just next to those I've got the Rose Hill series. And then moving to the left, I just have Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stevens, and then I've just got some fake plants, and this actually came all the way from Cuba. My mum brought me this back when they went away. So just moving down here, I have some of my favourite books. So they are my sort of indie author collection, really. So I have 2 copies of Scarlet, which is one of my favourites, and book 1 in Kaylee's first series. To the right of those, I've just got my Ripper's MC series by Emily Catlow. I am absolutely obsessed with this series. It is a 5-star read for me, the whole series. I would give all books 5 stars. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And this little tortoise came all the way from Japan. James brought me this back when he last went there on a work trip. We called him Travis, so I figured it was fitting that he sat here with my Ripper's MC books. So that's a little story about Travis. I'm going to just move to the right to show you my last shelf of romance books. So yeah, this is just sort of a mishmash of my last sort of romances. I didn't really know where else to put this, so this one's just here. This is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I haven't read it yet, but I didn't really know where else to put it, and people keep telling me to read it, so it just lives here now. I then have the Queen's Cove series by Stephanie Archer. I've started this series, but I haven't read them all yet, but so far it's alright. And then I have a few of my Hannah Burnham Young ones, so I have Out on a Limb, Out of the Woods, and Next of Kin. And then just have another Christina Lauren one, which I am wondering whether should go up with my other Christina Lauren book, or equally I've got a shelf of like Disney retelling books, so it could also go there, but for now it can just stay here until I figure out what to do with it. And then just have a few Travis ones. So I know this is related to the Archer's Voice book, so I haven't read any of these yet because I don't know, I've not figured out what needs to be read when. But I know these are a series together, and that's part of another series. So again, I'm just kind of leaving all of these here until I figure out how I'm supposed to read them, because I'm just not sure at the moment. I then have a couple from Tessa Bailey. So I've got Too Hot to Handle and Too Beautiful to Break. I do think this is book 1 and 4. But I got these from 66 Books when I went last year, so I didn't know at the time that they weren't a duo. I just thought they were just the 2 of them, but there's actually 4 of these, so I need to get the middle 2 of these. And then have The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary and The Switch by Beth O'Leary as well. And then just Falling Hard for the Royal Guard just there. And then just very quickly down at the bottom, I just have my 50 Shades books and the Grey book. I don't know if I'm going to be keeping those, if I'm being completely honest with you, which is why they're down here until I decide what I'm going to do with them. I'm then just going to quickly talk about the books in like the corner shelf. So down here I've got all my Colleen Hoover books. So I first have the It Ends With Us series. Absolutely loved this, not going to lie. Here there should be a paperback version of Verite, but somebody's just borrowing that at the moment. And then my special edition hardback with the additional chapter. The additional chapter for me does clarify, it made me swap sides on what side of the debate I was on whether I was on like the manuscript or the letter. This did make me change my mind on that. If you like the idea of like not knowing for definite, don't read the additional chapter, because this does sort of tell you which one was right. And then I just have a few others. So I've got Hopeless, Ugly Love and November 9. I might quickly just go through my thrillers while we're here. So first up I have my stack of Frida McFadden books. So I have the Housemaid series, Never Lie, which is probably my favourite of the books I've read so far, The Locked Door, The Teacher, One by One and The Inmate. I find her books to be really hit or miss. Like I really like Never Lie. The Housemaid was okay. The Teacher was okay, but I really enjoyed Never Lie, so I don't really know where I stand on her as an author yet. I have my Lisa Jewell ones. So I've read the Family Upstairs series, so it's the duology here. I really enjoyed those, but I haven't read the others yet. Now I don't entirely know if these belong here, but I haven't read them yet, so again I'm not entirely sure. So this is the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've heard a lot of really good things, but again I know they've got like, not powers, but like abilities. So I don't really know if it's classed as a thriller, but I do think it's like a mystery, murdery, solvey type one. So I'm just going to leave these here for now. And then just to the right I have Let's Split Up by Bill Woods. I haven't read this yet, but I just really love the footprints and I think it looks really cute next to the Bad Blood book. So for now it stays there. And then usually next to that I have The Silent Patient by Alex, I want to say Michaelides, I don't know if I'm saying that right. But again, somebody's just borrowing that at the moment. So that usually goes there just with the red cover. I feel like it flows best. This is the last of my sort of like mystery thriller type books, and then just a few random ones at the end. So I've got Butter, which I'm really excited to read. My partner got me this for Christmas, so I'm looking forward to that one. I've then got a couple of Julia McAllister ones. So I've got Wrong Place, Wrong Time and Just Another Missing Person. I've got the Serial Killer series by Alice Hunter, In the Blink of an Eye by Joe Callahan. There are 2 more of these out now, and I really enjoyed the first one, so I need to get a hold of those really. And then just have like sort of random mystery thrillery ones, just in whatever colour order looked best to me. So I've got The Girl Who Left, The Open House, The Colours of Death was a really good one. They have people with either, I think it's like telekinesis or telepathy, I think. And then those people are sort of frowned upon, so she is a detective with telepathy. And it's a really interesting concept. Again, there's a couple more of those out, so I do want to get a hold of those when I can. And then have Murder in the Family, which is a really interesting concept as well. There's a murder, and then we get the hints and things as the detective does, so we have to try and figure it out alongside her. This was gifted to me. And I really want to read this soon because I think it's just so interesting. So we literally just have to try and solve the case alongside the detective, and then I think at the end we find out who did it, so you get to know if you were right or not. I then have Gone Girl, The Girl on the Train, a couple of Karen Slaughter ones, The Gun in the Dark, and The Good Neighbour. And then I just have my Cecilia Ahern ones here, so it's Flawed and Perfect. I read this series ages ago and I loved it so much, and I just can't bring myself to get rid of them. So they just sort of sit here because I don't really know where else to put them. And then I've got The Girl Behind the Gates, my reading journal that I haven't filled out since about March last year, and just a little book that my sister got me, which is really cute. So I just keep that down here as well. Okay, let's move on to my fantasy collection, which is probably the majority of my books, if I'm honest. So I've got my fan that again came all the way from Japan. James brought that home with him when he brought my tortoise. I have this little plaque that my friend Annabelle gave me, which I just think is so cute. It just has a little quote on it. And then I've just got another little Stitch figure here because we love Stitch, so he stays. And then have my Zodiac Academy books. So far I've got book 1 and 2. I am reading book 3. I just haven't got the physical copy yet. And then this dragon egg here is from the Society of Alchemists again. There is a dragon that comes in it, but I've got him somewhere else on my shelf, so I'll show you him later on. Moving down, I've got the Beast of the Briar series. I think these books are so stunning. I have read book 1 and I did enjoy that. I read that for a scavenger hunt. I'll link it up here for you. It was definitely good fun. And then moving down, I've just got some more pretty hardbacks. So I've just got When the Moon Hatched, A Feather So Black, and then I've got the Crimson Moth duology as well, or Heartless Hunter, depending on where you're from. And then at the bottom I've just got a couple of James's books. So I've got the Tales of Horror and then a Keanu Reeves one, because we both love Keanu Reeves, so we're going to read that at some point. It's quite difficult to show you this shelf just because my tripod doesn't go up high enough, but this is the top shelf. So these are all Disney retellings. So I've first got the Disney Twisted Tales. So I've got As Old as Time, I've got A Whole New World, Once Upon a Dream, Straight On Till Morn, Go the Distance, Let It Go, Suddenly Super, Almost There, Princess of Thieves, What Once Was Mine, So This Is Love, Unbirthday, Mirror Mirror, Part of Your World, and Reflection. So they're all the Disney Twisted Tales ones. And then I have the Emily McIntyre, so the Never After novels. This is the Sprayed Edges hexed one again from the works. I really love my Sprayed Edges books, but at the minute it just sort of stays the same way as the others. At the end, I just have this Entangled book, which is a Tangled retelling by Vera Kane, which is another indie author book. But I'm really looking forward to that. It's a really short one, so I'll read that really quickly, I think. But this could be really fun. It's like a mafia retelling Tangled story. These next 3 shelves are probably my absolute favourites. I love them so much. So I've got my Sarah J Maas shelf. So I've first got ACOTAR, which I have read and absolutely loved, and then I've got Throne of Glass, and then at the end I've got book 3 in the Crescent City series. I didn't buy it, somebody bought that for me, so it was so kind of them. I just need to get around to buying book 1 and 2 now. Moving down, this is probably my favourite shelf, I think. So I've got all my Powerless hardback Waterstones special editions, and then I've just got the Works Sprayed Edges ones in the middle to break them up a little bit. I am currently doing a reread of this series, ready for reading the last book, and I am doing annotations and things, so I'm hoping to find a way to display those on here somehow as well. So we've just got Powerful, Powerless, Reckless, and Fearless. So this is the little novella. Here I have my little Rebecca Yarros shelf. So I have the Empyrean series. So I've got Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, Onyx Storm, and then I've got the main paperback as well. This is the little dragon I was on about that came out of that egg. And then I have this one here, which was a present from my partner's family, and honestly it's incredible. So I'm not entirely sure where it's from, but I think it was Etsy. But it's just so stunning. I love it so much. So here I have my little Cassandra Clare collection. So I first have the Mortal Instruments series. I have read this one and absolutely loved it. I do plan on rereading it at some point soon because I did really enjoy it and I do want to continue on with the series. So I also have the Infernal Devices, the Dark Artifices, and then just some random ones. I don't really know where these go in the story, to be honest. There is a reading order that kind of combines these 2 series, so maybe when I reread these I'll do that. But I really want to continue on and read the rest of this because it is all in the same sort of universe. And then that shelf down here is just the thriller ones. So I'm just going to move you to the right and then we'll work our way up that last section. So on this section here I just have like a bunch of random fantasy books. So I have the Lightlock series, book 1 and 2. Book 3 isn't out in paperback yet, which is the only reason I don't have it. I have read book 1, really enjoyed that. I've not got around to reading book 2 yet. I then have a lot of the Leah Bardugo books. They're also like at a weird angle. I don't really know what's going on here. So I have the Shadow and Bone series, Six of Crows series, King of Scars. I don't know what's going on with my camera. I'm just going to continue. I have book 2 in the Alex Stern series. I let my friend choose a book for me and pick this one, but I didn't realise it was in a series already, so I need to get book 1 of that, which is like Ninth House, I think. The Shepherd King duology, so that's One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. I then have a bit of like a Kerry Maniscalco section, so I've got the Kingdom of the Wicked series, and then I've got book 1. I don't know what this series is called, but this is Throne of the Fallen. I'm sorry, I know it's a little bit dark over here. It's a bit difficult to film in this corner. I then have A Court This Cruel and Lovely. This is probably the newest book on my shelves. I just think it's absolutely stunning and I really want to get around to reading this soon. I then have The Night Hunt by Alexandra Christo. Now, I think this is actually a standalone fantasy, which I find really interesting. It's not very often you find those. I have Nectar of the Wicked by Ella Fields, Wrath and the Dawn, Feybound, another Cassandra Clare one, but it's part of a different universe, so I didn't want to have it with the others. And then right at the end we've just got Rush of Ravens. So this is Rush of Ravens by Abigail Breyer. It's going to be an 8-book series, but this is book 1, so there's going to be an 8-book series plus novellas, so eventually this will probably have its own shelf. So moving up here, I just have some more fantasy ones. So I've got the Hurricane Wars, I've got some Stephanie Garbus. This is the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I then have the Shatter Me series by Tahiri Mafi and the This Woven Kingdom series. I really want to read this soon, but I have been told to read this first, so I need to get on that really. I then have This Cruel Prince set. I don't know exactly what this series is called. I think it's like the Folk of Air. I've got that there. And then I've just got Crown of Oaths and Curses, which is, there's like 2 novellas to begin with, and then this one, and then a second one now as well. And then I just have my edition of Quicksilver over here. Again, it's pretty dark in this corner. I'm really sorry. It doesn't seem that dark in person, but on camera it's just not showing up much at all. So let's just quickly go through these. So I've got the Lady of Darkness series by Melissa K. Rorick. I'm really excited to read those. I then have Penn Cole's the Kindred Curse saga, again really excited for those as well. Next, the Plated Prisoners series. I really don't know how I feel about this series, if I'm completely honest. I've read book 1 and I didn't love it. Everyone keeps telling me to just continue on because it just gets so good, but if I don't like a book I really struggle to continue with the series, so we'll see how I get on with that one. I then have the Gods and Monsters trilogy. I've heard so many good things about these, so I'm really looking forward to those. And then at the end I have 2 really stunning books. I just need to quickly show you them. They're gorgeous. So I have Phantasma and Enchantress. It says the black sprayed edges, and honestly it's just stunning. I think these books are gorgeous. Moving up to this shelf, I have sort of like a vampire section. So I've got the first 2 books in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. I don't have the novellas yet just because they don't come out in paperback yet. I then have the Filthy Rich Vampire series. This is books 1 to 4. I haven't read those yet. I've got Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is book 2 in the Nightshade series, so this is just Wolfbane. I've got the My Vampire duology. I do think there's going to be a 3rd in this series. And then I've got all of my House of Night books and minor 2 novellas at the end. So there's 12 of the main series and I've got 2 of the 4 novellas, and I've read books 1 to 7 in this so far, so there's still a lot to go. And then moving up to my top shelf, I'm sorry again, I know the angle is rubbish, but I've got the My Darkest Minds series. I haven't read those yet. I then have the Divergent series. I've read those and really enjoyed those, but I read them a long time ago. I should probably reread those at some point as well. And then have the Chaos Walking series. This is a really interesting concept, so I'm looking forward to reading these. And then moving on, I have the Maximum Ride trilogy. I really loved James Patterson's Women's Murder Club series when I was first getting into reading a few years ago. And now that I'm more into fantasy, my nan was like, you should read his fantasy series. So this is about like a group of kids at school that are at this academy that all turn into like ravens or something. I'm not entirely sure, but I do want to read this at some point. My nan said that it was really good and she really enjoyed it. And then finally, moving over, I then just have the Scythe trilogy here. I got these at 66 books again, so I got them for like next to nothing, and I just haven't got around to reading them yet, and to be honest I don't know if I'll get to them anytime soon either. And then that is all of my collection. So that is the full book room tour. I honestly am so obsessed with it. I love it so much, and I really hope you guys like it too. This will be my new background for all of my videos now, so get used to this site. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, my social media, my Amazon, my Goodreads, and now my business email are all in the description bar below. I do a lot of like little updates on my social medias of how I'm getting on with books and just general little lifey bits. So if you are interested in any of that, they are all in the description box. Be sure to go and check those out and say hi. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.